welcome back to the Kopite podcast. It's our first ever live stream. We thought we'd fucking jump on the bandwagon. Why not? I'm joined by Jay Pearson, as usual. How are you doing, Jay?
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Good stuff. And we've also got the Gibraltarian, Matt Ramirez, with his Lincoln Park and his YNWA cushions. How you doing, lad?
I'm all right. Just rushed back from work, but I'm good.
And you didn't think to take the turtleneck off now? Sound? Yeah.
not even a minute in.
Bastard.
Anyway, boys, we'll crack on with Midtjylland. Thoughts on going on to the game, Jay? Obviously, lineup was kind of leaked online, and I seen it. I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to be the right one. It turned out it was Millie and Hendo in the middle, and getting Shaq and Origi starting. I think when we done the preview, we were kind of looking at it going, we should be all right here after Atalanta beat them 4-0. But how was you feeling when you seen the lineup and obviously before the game?
Do you know what, mate? Like you said in the preview, I'm not bothering trying to do the lineups anymore because the amount of games that we've got within the next few weeks, it's going to be completely different. I've got to take my mindset out the different, we've got a gap in between to rest people and stuff. So for me, I saw the lineup and I just thought, Jesus Christ, yeah, it completely threw me, especially for a home game and what we thought about as well. But I mean, either way, I was confident of whatever lineup he put in. But yeah, it didn't turn out the same way as I thought it would.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Were you surprised, Matt? Obviously, Shaq and Origi starting. I think Origi's came out of the wilderness a little bit. Shaq started a couple of weeks ago, I think. And then, what did you make of those two inclusions?
I'm glad Shaq started. I think he brings a lot to this squad. I was a bit surprised by Origi. I know he was the hero a couple of years back, but I don't think he fits at the moment, and he just seems a bit forced. Now that I've said that, he'll go and score the winner in the next two games that he plays in. But I was surprised. I was very surprised to see Origi.
Yeah, and I think we all were. I think the last couple of games he's not been included, has he? And then he's come back in, and it's difficult for him because he's a good player, and he'll go down in folklore as one of as an absolute legend for the goals he scored, absolutely iconic against Everton and Champions League finals, and just celebrating like he's just scored in a training match, and just being a little cheeky bastard, basically. But he doesn't seem to. I don't know. He's not as effective as he, especially when he plays on that left hand side and he's linking up with Robertson. Like Robertson wants to bomb on and do 1-2s with Sadio Mane, and you've got Origi there who's kind of takes far too many touches, doesn't he, Jay? And he slows it down a bit, and we become a bit too predictable, don't we?
I think so, mate. I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of he'll always be a legend for us and what he's doing. And I think look what Steve said already. Well, it's Steve. Not even 5 minutes in and it's gone already, which is brilliant. Love that.
Big shoes. All right, cool, nice.
Yeah. Go on, you can explain yourself with that one, Matt. Go on, explain yourself with that one.
I think they were sick, These are Jordans. They're nice. They're nice. Very trendy.
Yeah, Steve doesn't think so. But yeah, going back to what you said, mate, it is a bit of a shame. But I think we've changed as a team now from when obviously last season when everyone said we didn't strengthen enough and we didn't get that extra striker and Origi was coming on. It wasn't really fitting to the way that the squad was. We did feel a drop off, and I think the drop off is more evident now considering what we're used to and the way we've been over the last 2 years. So it is a shame, but at the end of the day, Origi number 27 is always going to be a legendary shirt number and name on the back of the shirt. So that can't be forgotten. But again, we've moved on and we've got to move on from names at the end of the day. And we are Liverpool Football Club. We have got to get better in those instances. But one of the things that was bright for me yesterday was Shaqiri. No one had seen him since the League Cup game, and then he comes on. He starts the game obviously, and he was absolutely brilliant. I just thought the stuff he was doing in the match was really good. And obviously, Greg has said something which is absolutely perfect timing. His tight pass around the box is really, really good, and it was. He saw the reverse balls he did were just incredible, and he was a big asset last night considering there was not much from the game. But I'm sure we'll come into that anyway. But yeah, really impressed with Shaqiri last night.
Yeah, and like you said, his type of creativity in the final third we needed in that game because Midtjylland really surprised me. Like they started really well. We weren't at the races at all at the beginning, were we? And they were just popping off little triangles and making it look easy. So especially after
and on purpose.
I think that's the accent, sorry lad. It's not as refined as your Mediterranean twang. Stop interrupting anyway, lad. Fucking hell, it's our first live stream. Anyway, well, 30 minutes in, Fabinho feels his hamstring and goes down. We were all absolutely shitting our pants thinking, is this going to be, well, how long is he going to be out for, is the first thing you think, isn't it? It was great for Reece Williams, obviously 19-year-old kid, made his full debut in the Champions League last week against Ajax. And then this week he makes his full Anfield Champions League debut against Midtjylland. So it's great for him. What were your... Go on, Matt, I'll come to you. How did you feel when Fab went down? Were you absolutely shitting your pants as well?
Yeah, shit myself. It's one thing after another. So first Virgil's gone, and then we think, all right, well, Fab can play centre back. That's great. And then this happens, and now you're just looking at it going, well, we've got Joe Gomez, but Matip's out as well. So what the fuck, basically. Hopefully it's not long. Klopp tried to make a positive out of it, saying that he could have carried on without sprinting. Don't see how that's positive, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But, fingers crossed, maybe a couple of weeks. Hopefully he's back for City, but I don't know. It just does seem like one blow after another at the moment.
Yeah, it does, mate. And I think at the end of the day, we like you said, Matt, we got so used to very, very quickly. We got used to that. Okay, Virgil's out, but Fabinho's been playing so well there. We thought, right, we're going to be okay-ish. Do you know what I mean? And I think everyone was getting used to that. And then this happens now. I just think, that's all the headline. When it rains, it pours, and it certainly does for us at centre back at the minute. And it's such a shame. But again, it does give obviously opportunities for other people, and it was a great opportunity for Williams, wasn't it, Mick?
Yeah, it's difficult because he's a 19-year-old kid and he seems like he's absolutely massive. Look, he looks like about 6'5" or 6'4", and he's huge. But it's difficult for him to come into these games, and we're expecting such a high level at the minute, especially with Fabinho, who's gone in there and just made it look like it is not natural. It's a high standard, and he's going to learn them well. He's neat and tidy. I don't know how he's going to be in terms of it when it comes up against maybe like a Mikel Antonio. I don't know how we'd react to that. It'd be a bit more tricky. But after that, obviously, the first half, we get to half time with no shots on target. Apparently, it was the first time in 51 home games in all competitions since October 2018 against Man City in the Premier League that we'd done that. So it was like, that was a weird one. We were like, what's going on here? Because it was just a bit laboured, weren't it? Like we were trying to make it happen, and like we touched on before we started recording, Minamino was trying things and it weren't quite coming off for him, and then Origi's kind of a bit laboured on the left, and Jota didn't look. I don't know. He was trying stuff, but it wasn't really working too well, and we just couldn't seem to get through. And then obviously after the half, Hendo goes off, and Wijnaldum comes on for him. And we're all shitting our pants again, thinking, is this another injury for Hendo? But thankfully, it was just a tactical switch. Were you happy with that switch, Jay, at half time?
I think you have to be, really. I mean, obviously, I never like to see Hendo go off because he just adds a different dynamic to the team, which is, it still to this day is quite underrated, really. But I think it was very clever of Klopp, because I think he knows that Hendo is a good option for Saturday in terms of playing centre half, because we've seen him do it before. We've seen him do it in Qatar, didn't we? And albeit obviously everyone was a little bit iffy about it, but mate, that's the stuff that you've got to do. And luckily we've got depth in midfield to cover for Hendo. So when he wasn't playing and Gini came on, I wasn't sat there going, oh fuck shit, I wasn't asked. It was like, right, okay, that's the cards we're dealt at the minute. And it's such a weird season. I keep going back to it. Is everybody's having sort of similar problems like this, and it might be because of the way the last season panned out, the break, and everyone's come back again, and the games have come thick and fast, and there's so many variables to it, and we're not the only ones that are going to go through something like this. This isn't just an anomaly for Liverpool; it's for a lot of other teams as well. But like to answer the question properly, I wasn't that bothered, because I just thought, well, it's a precaution, and we should have been able to see the game out without Hendo, and thank God we did in the end.
Yeah, I think it was, for me, it was obviously when we had Dave Lynch on the last pod, I think he put a tweet up just after half time saying, I've got info that Hendo isn't injured. And then from then on, I was like, right, sound then. Because I was just hoping it weren't an injury. Because like you said, when it rains, it pours. We don't want to start losing major loads of players and then really struggling. I think we can manage without certain people. But when you start getting to the bare bones of it, we're going to be fucked in certain areas because we're not too strong, especially centre back. But obviously, then we 55 minutes, we then go 1-0 up. Diego Jota gets our 10,000th ever goal. Boss little move, like you said, Shaq.
Yeah.
Greg earlier on the comments. Shaq was great, and that little 1-2 with Trent on the edge of the box was boss, and then he puts it on a play for Jota, but he's in the right place at the right time, and that's what goal scorers do. He seems to always be there, like a little poacher. I think I put a tweet up as a piss take saying he's the best poacher since Pippo and Zaggy, and I just seen if anyone bites. No one did. I was hoping for a bite.
Probably because they agreed with you. Probably because they fucking agreed with you.
But yeah, we go 1-0, 55 minutes. How were you thinking then, Matt, after that? Were you hoping we'd get a couple more, or were you worried about their attacking prowess, really? Because they were really good.
I thought we'd blitz them. Liverpool have whenever we struggle to score, as soon as we get the first one, we kind of just steamroll teams, or at least that's what we got used to in the last few years. So I'm surprised that didn't happen. The goal itself, I think it highlighted everything great about Trent and everything great about Shaq. I love Shaq. I can't stress how technically brilliant that little box of a player is. He's just his proportions don't match, but he's just incredible on the ball. And just to be able to pull off the reverse pass, see it, know that Trent's going to make the run, and then the cross with Jota, knowing that Trent's going to make the cross as well, is just perfect. But yeah, I expected us to steamroll it. Was like I said, surprised that we didn't. But at the end of the day, we won the match anyway. So
yeah, I think it's great that Jota's got that 10,000th goal, really, because I think, you know, his name's etched in history now, isn't it, with Liverpool Football Club? Regardless, he's got that now. But he has made such a good start to his Liverpool career. You know, he is scoring goals when he plays, and he just seems to settle in so well. And he even said after the match, didn't he, that one of the questions was asked was, you know, how have you felt settling in? It seems like you've settled really quickly. And he just said, yeah, with a big smile on his face. And it does help the fact that he's played Premier League football before. It isn't new to him. And he knows how it works. And yeah, it does seem like he's been there for a few years now. And I tell you what, that transfer just came out of the blue. And we said, didn't we, to David Lynch, and the way transfers are happening on the last show is, can we have some more like that? Because it was just out of the blue and he's just settled in and it's been absolutely brilliant. I'm so happy that we've got a player like him.
That transfer was just as random as Fabinho a couple of years back. Like, there's nothing hinting at it, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, we spoke to Dave about this, and I asked the question about is it more difficult to get like information regarding transfers now, and I asked about there's a question about Matip and would he maybe be used as sold next summer in order to fund maybe an Upper Meccano or a Ben White, who Brighton are asking major money for. And he said it's fine to get information, but it's not. I think people forget, journalists, it's not just about releasing transfers, it's all the other stuff that comes with it. So but we're obviously happy if Liverpool keep doing the business as they are, Fabinho, Jota type ones where come out the blue, smack us in the face, and we're like, fucking hell, this is boss. Then we're obviously going to be happy, aren't we, Jay?
Oh, mate, I'll be happy all day with that. It's absolutely fine, you know. Depending on who it is, you know what I'm like with transfers, mate. I don't get involved with all that stuff. You know what I mean? Shit comes at me. You know what I mean? So what's the fucking point of me commenting about transfers? But yeah, mate. Yeah, of course. But no, mate, like I said, he's settled in really well, and I agree with Matt. After we got that first one last night, I just thought, yeah, we'll get a few now, and it just didn't seem to happen. And you know, not to go negative on us for a minute, but I expected more from us, and I don't know whether that was because we lost Fabinho and people got nervous and stuff like that. It just felt like, I don't know, it was, people were tweeting saying they were falling asleep, and it was boring, and it was tedious, and it was I think so many things are affecting the game in a minute. You know, there's no atmosphere and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, the crowd would have got behind the team if they hadn't, because they did drop off a little bit. And I think that was the frustrating thing for us all watching it last night, wasn't it?
Oh, that's a packed out Anfield. We've got no doubts that we ram them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we touched on this in the last pod with Dave as well, Dave Lynch. Like, VAR has a major say in how the game goes now, but having no fans in the stadium also has a major say, because Liverpool at Anfield, Champions League night, we would have been 100 miles an hour from the first 5 minutes in that game. We might have scored a couple, but it's like, because we haven't got that, like Milner said after the game, the 12th man isn't there to give us that impetus, and it affects us more than other teams because we rely on that so much. So the fact that we still got over the line is still testament to how a change of lineup, still good players in it. Midtjylland were great, but it was still testament to how we do go about business that we still managed to do it. And like you said, it was a bit laboured, and like after 60 minutes, Sadio Mane comes on, so there's Mo Salah, Minamino and Origi go off, who both weren't great on the night, if you're honest. And from then, you'd expect maybe an upturn in like momentum, and you're like, right, two big fellas are on now. We're going to absolutely smash these now. And it just didn't click, did it, Matt? It just seemed like we were waiting for it to happen and it just didn't come. It
just seemed like a bit of a complacent performance. Maybe it's because they got smashed 4-0 to Atlanta, or I don't know what it is, but it just seemed that we expected to win, expected them to roll over. And the thing about playing against Liverpool is that teams are going to just come fired up to play against Liverpool.
Yeah, no, it's true, mate.
If we can't match that fire, then it's not going to be easy. Klopp said after the game that he was happy that it was difficult and that we still came through it. But it's going to keep being difficult unless the players can get pumped for a City game against a Midtjylland, like Mick would say.
Fucking brilliant! You're getting ripped here, Michael. I love it.
I shouldn't have. I went too soon with the turtleneck.
Leave the turtleneck alone, mate.
But no, mate, Matt, you make a really, really good point there, and I think what I loved about the fact that it was resilient. And I just tell you what, give me if I'm going to qualify for the Champions League like that every single game, and you can offer me that now, I'll take it. Just because we kept another clean sheet, we've got through the game. And albeit, yeah, all right, it wasn't the performance that we wanted, but you know, in this day and age like that, and the way we are, in terms of we're worried about leaking goals, you take it all day, Mick, don't you?
Yeah, that's the thing, and obviously, like you said, we go on to win the game, and after you look at the other results in Group D, which Atalanta and Ajax, they both draw. So it's like we're now 2 points clear at the top of the group. We haven't played exceptionally well. We haven't played well really. And we're still 2 points clear at the top, and it's like, well, that is literally what we wanted before the game started. It was like, well, if you got offered, we'll play shit, but we win 2-0, would you take it? It's like, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, of course you do.
Top of the group, we've had to shuffle a couple of people about. Fabinho has unfortunately got injured, and the 19-year-old kids, come on, done quite well. It's like, well, you've got to take the rough with the smooth, and at the minute, it's quite rough in terms of injuries, isn't it?
Oh, mate, definitely. And I tell you what, there were times last night that I was thinking, shit, we could have been 1-0 down, we could have been 2-0 down. Alisson pulls off a couple of great saves. They get through. I mean, Robbo had a bit of a torrid time on the left-hand side with, I can't remember his name, it was Dreyer or Dryer, whatever his name was. He was a bit, there you go, yeah, he was a bit of a pain in the arse. I thought Michelle Pfeiffer up front, she was a bit of a pain in the arse as well. You know what I mean? She was like quite a big fella, and he caused a bit of trouble. And that, again, it worried me a little bit because he was sort of getting free in the centre, and obviously some of the balls that were coming, you think, right, Van Dijk clears that all the time, and that was a bit worrying because I think when you go and play the likes of City or whoever who will target us that way because they know us really, really well, that could be a bit of a worry.
Yeah, and I think we keep saying it, but when you've got Van Dijk in that team and he's been there for what seems like forever now, when he's missing, the rest of the team expect it to be coming, even though he's not there. So like them headed clearances, they're all like, well, Van Dijk's going to do it. But it's like it's getting used to him not being there because he's not going to be there for a long time at the minute. So it's getting used to that. It's forging those relationships. And I mean, fucking Fabinho and has gone down injured, and Matip said, we don't even know if he's fit for the weekend. Like we'll come on to that in a bit, but it's just trying to forge those relationships and getting us as strong as we can as a unit, because that is literally Klopp's philosophy. Is if you're not working as a unit, you won't work at all, and that's why we didn't work in the first couple of years. It was only after a couple of years where he got the right players in that we started clicking into gear, because he'd got the right players for the right positions who could work in the correct system. And since we're losing all these players, it's like, well, we lost Alisson for a bit. Thankfully, he's back. If he wasn't there last night, Jesus Christ, I don't know what would have happened. We would have been a lot more difficult, wouldn't it, Matt?
Yeah, thank God for Alisson. I saw a tweet earlier, someone that works for LFC saying that they were sat near Alisson on that side of the ground. They could hear him just barking orders at a defence. And that's, I don't know if he does it or not, but I can't imagine instructions from Adrian resonating as much as an instruction from Alisson.
Mm.
Maybe I'm being completely unfair.
No, not at all.
It's just, it's good to have, it's never a bad thing to have possibly the best keeper in the world back. And you can, if you look at Williams' performance, he's of course going to be less nervous knowing that if he makes a mistake, he's got Alisson behind him to bail him out. It just instills confidence in the whole team to maybe take that little extra risk or hold on to the ball a bit more, play a pass that might not come off, because at the end of the day, you've got the world's best guarding your goal. Before we move on, I wanted to say, and this might be weird, but do you think Fabinho's injury might benefit Joe Gomez? Just because with Fab partnering him, Gomez could arguably just stay in his shell and become like the second defender, let Fab take control. But now Gomez is probably going to be the senior centre-back. He might be forced to become that leader.
Mick, go for it.
Oh, I don't know, because I don't know. Gomez for me was still a senior guy back there, because Fabinho is still a centre midfielder for me. Like he's still a CDM. He's still one of the best in the world in that position. He's doing a role at centre back so well, and you've got to applaud him for it. But no, you could be right there. Like the thing is, I don't want Fabinho to be out for a long amount of time. That's the thing.
No.
Yeah. We don't want Reece Williams to have to play 3-4 in a row. Like we don't want that at this stage in his career. Like he's just been out on loan last year to Kidderminster Harriers. He's came in. He's had a bit of a whirlwind the last couple of weeks, and he's played in a couple of games and scored for the under-23s, and he's getting himself up. A couple of months ago, we didn't even really know who he was. Like it's like we knew Kopite, who had a few games, Sephton, who we signed. So Williams has come out of the wilderness a little bit, and he's came into the forefront. So we don't want to throw him into the limelight too soon, I don't think. And hopefully, like I said, if Gomez and Reece Williams at the weekend, I will be a bit worried. I'm not going to lie, especially if Michail Antonio's fit. It's going to be a tricky game, isn't it, Jay?
It is, mate. It is, and I think again the squad's going to be used. Every player is going to be used multiple times this season, and it's already started happening. You know, usually you get set on the team that's winning and informed. But obviously, I think I'm just going to throw this up here because Greg's just made a really, really good point. Lads, do you think Minamino has taken a long time to fit into the Liverpool Klopp style of play, or is it the lack of game time he has been getting? I think that's a really, really good shout, because there's been quite a few people talking about Minamino about this, and he is getting these opportunities, isn't he? And albeit, everyone rated him in the League Cup because he did play really, really well. But if 6 of one, half dozen the other, isn't it? You can look at it negatively, you can look at it positively, and for me, he's not taking the chances that he's been getting, if that makes sense. Matt, what do you think? Oh, sorry, Mike, go on.
Go on, Michael.
No, I was just going to say, some players thrive on being selected every week. So it depends if he's one of those players who needs that assurance that he's going to get game time over and over. Like for Salzburg, he probably knew he was going to play every week. Because now for me, he was our best player in pre-season by a long way. He was great. He's done well in the cup games he's played in, and he's shown the level that's expected of him and more by scoring goals and making us tick up in the higher areas. And he's getting picked now, not really often, and it's like there's games where he's not even coming as a sub. So I don't know. Like we all say, Klopp's like the best manager in the world, so it won't affect him in terms of like his morale and stuff. But in terms of his confidence on the ball, I think that was affected last night because you could see it. Like his touch wasn't there. Like he'd get like a fast ball into his feet usually. Firmino like touch off into the wing, make a run into the box. off into midfield, make a run to the left, and like open himself up for a return pass. That wasn't there last night, so I don't know if it's partly that, Greg, to be honest, but I understand what you're saying. Like, he needs more game time, and I think like this season's going to be more condensed. We hopefully will see more of him, and I think I've got no worries about him. Like, I love him. I think he's going to be great, but he needs that game time, definitely.
Yeah,
I think it's more like you said, more game time than system, and I like to compare it a lot to Keita, because when Keita first came, it wasn't the system so much. It was that he needed that run of games. Because he came on and he'd have flashes of brilliance at the start, but then he was quite underwhelming. And then I think it was towards the tail end of last season, start of this season, when he was getting in the squad and he did have a run of games without injury, that you saw what Naby Keita is. And Taki hasn't had that, apart from in pre-season. And we saw the benefits in pre-season. And if he can get that run of games, not just get used to everything, but just get it under his belt, feel like he's the guy, then I'm sure that we'll see the Taki that ripped us apart last season.
Yeah, it's a good point, because he did absolutely rinse us, didn't he, both games, and we all knew that he was a great player. And obviously at that point we didn't know we were linked with him and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the best is yet to come from Minamino, and I echo what you say there, Matt. It's a great point. It's just, let's give him time to settle while we have the time to settle, if that makes sense, because we have got such a solid front three as well. So yeah, let's just give him time. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and like he's 25. Like, he's 26 in January. His best years are ahead of him. Let's be honest. Like, he's old enough to know that he's in a squad that is the best in the world, and we've just won the Premier League. We're going for it again. We're going for Champions League again. He knows deep down, Klopp will have made it clear to him that he's in his plans and he's going to get game time. So it's just about biding his time. It's the same as Curtis Jones. It's the same as Shaq, because Shaq didn't get sold. Like, Shaq maybe we would have got sold in the summer, but no one seemed to come in for him at the right time at the right price. So we've not been left with him, but we've got him there as an option. It's like, it's fitting these players into these games. Like, he's gonna get plenty of game time, and we know he's got quality. It's just about getting, like you said, Matt, and both of you just said, like, it's getting that game time. It's gonna improve his confidence. But I wanted to. We haven't finished about the game yet, so I'm just gonna. Obviously, 90 minutes in the Midtjylland game. With absolutely ridiculous ball through by Trent. Like, it says a lot when the player he's playing it to isn't even in shot, and you're like, who's he passing to?
Yeah.
But he's done that, and he's done it throughout the game, and obviously Salah maybe could have passed it to Fabinho, but he doesn't. He gets a pen, he gets up, scores it, as you'd expect. I still shit myself, because I always do when Salah takes a pen. He still scores it. I don't know when I'm ever going to feel better about Salah scoring pens, but if he keeps scoring, I probably will at some point in the near future. But like you said, Trent was he was great, when he, like, the passing like that in the first half, where we were like nearly falling asleep because it was like a bit lacklustre. And then Trent just absolutely volleys a fucking right footer over to Robbo out of nothing. And you're just like, what? How's he even thought of doing that? And it's just like the passes he was playing. He was just like, it was kind of, it wasn't Steven Gerrard like in terms of grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and leading us to a win. It was like trying to lead us to it with the passes he was making. He was terrific on the night, weren't he, Jay?
Yeah, there's not enough words in the world to describe Trent Alexander-Arnold at the minute, because he's just been phenomenal ever since he stepped into the team. And for a young lad, I mean, what is he now? 22. Jesus Christ, I was still wanking to a sock at 22. You know what I mean? And he's winning leagues and getting Young Player of the Year and European champion and all that sort of stuff. And he's just incredible, mate. We're so lucky to have him, and he's reinvented the right back. He's reinvented the full back role. It is incredible for what he's done, and again, it was great to see that type of performance from him as well, because we've missed that this season. We really have missed him dominate on that right hand side and picking those balls, and that is the old trend that we needed to see. And he is probably suffering of the season that we had last year, and the quick turnaround of games and stuff like that. So he carries on putting performances like that. It'll do his confidence the world of good. And yeah, I think the real Trent's going to be back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Matt, what thoughts on thoughts on Trent's performance in detail? Because I know you watched the whole 90 minutes, so we'll move on.
Rick, do you think enough gets made about Trent's passing? Because I think that us as Liverpool fans, yeah, we see it, but the guy just does some ridiculous things with the ball, and it's not really picked up that much. I think people are just getting used to the fact that this guy, wherever he is on the pitch, he's going to find you like it's nothing. The passes he plays just sort of invite everyone in the squad to just, whoever it is, has the ball, go score, go do something with it. It's just, he puts it on a sixpence.
He does.
I don't know how he's done that, or how he's managed to learn that skill, or got the confidence to volley those passes, or how he's even seen Salah if we couldn't see Salah for that pass.
Yeah. It's true, mate. It's true.
Yeah, he's got his defensive weaknesses. We all know that. But if you could do that going forward, then I'll take those defensive weaknesses every day of the week.
Well, it's proved to work, hasn't it, last couple of years, so we'll have it. Mick, I want to do, the teaser that we did in the last show. I want to do it for Matt. See if he can get the question right. Before we move on to sort of like a little bit of the West Ham, we'll finish off with the Denmark link. You ready? Yeah. So right, Matt, we've got a question for you, because I did this to Mick and I caught him off guard a little bit. Same way I'm catching you off guard, because then you can't Google the answers. So people in the comments, obviously they can have a go with this as well. So let us know in the comments as you get the answers. Right, mate. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 players that have played for Liverpool in their history and that are Danish as well. Okay, so name the 7 Danish players to play for Liverpool. Go.
Daniel Agger
is 1.
Poulsen
is 2.
And there we go. I'm not.
That's his age bracket there, right there. 1990.
That's my age.
That is true. That is his age bracket right there. So, do you want to hazard a guess at another one, because there's one?
Jan Mulder.
Oh, there you go. 3. That was the 3 I'd expect you to get, mate. Given your age bracket.
I think they're the 3 I got as well, aren't they?
They are the 3 that you got, mate. Yeah, they were, because
it's my dad.
Yeah. So the others, mate, they're probably names that you will remember. So you got Jørgen Nielsen, goalkeeper. Michael Stensgaard, another goalkeeper. Martin Hansen, another goalkeeper. And then there's one more as well. Now I might just leave this one to see if anybody in the comments can get it. And he was a defender, so I'll answer that question before the end, mate, and we'll put the last one in. But he's one more as a defender, and if you can think of it, Matt, before the end, happy days, mate. But yeah, good shout there, mate. Well done. Carry on, Michael. Say random names, Matt. You'll probably get there eventually.
No, we'll save that one for the end, because that's everyone can have a little think about that one. I mean, Greg's just said Mulby, but no,
got one.
But keep thinking, lads. You'll get there. It took me a while as well, but I don't think I got there in the end. I think you have to tell me, didn't you? So to be honest,
I had to give you a little clue.
Yeah, but anyway, let's crack on. Obviously, Saturday,
yep.
West Ham. We don't know. I think after the game, Klopp said he doesn't know if Matip's going to be fit. He's being very coy on everything at the minute, so we don't know where we stand. I'm
not predicting anything. I am sick of predicting the bloody lineup and getting it screwed over. So I'm not bothering. I'm not even going there. I've had enough.
Go on then, Mark. Give us a go, lads. Give us your insights into the XI.
All right. Well, Alisson definitely. Fullbacks Robo and Trent. I think at centre back is going to be Hendo and Gomez. Then Gini, Millie, and Thiago. And the front 3.
I don't think Thiago starts, to be honest. Like, after speaking to I know we keep fucking name dropping Dave Lynch like we're fucking Bezzies and that, but he's a good fella, and he's like, it seemed from the impression I got, I don't think he's going to start on the weekend. I think it's more of a maybe put him in the squad, bring him on last 10 minutes, bit of minutes in the legs, and we're looking forward to Atalanta and Man City. I think that's the goal, because we need him for those games. Definitely Man City away is going to be tricky one, so we need him for that. So
well,
I'd be happy with.
I want Shaq to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's just not given the praise and the respect that he deserves. He is madness. Yeah, it's a fair shout. Like, as long as I feel bad saying we don't want fucking Origi to start, but we can't. I don't want to peddle shit about Origi because I'm easy. Like you said, he's going to go down as a legend and whatever. And I'd hate to speak bad about him, but in terms of effectiveness against a good West Ham team, to be honest, we need to be on a game. So I imagine, like Matt said, the usual front three, we back in action. If Shaq came in, maybe off the bench, that would be ideal. Jay, I know you said you didn't want to chat about it, but in terms of let's go midfield three then, because that's maybe the area where we're most likely to see most changes. What do you think that's going to be mid three?
Milner, Gini, and if Endo's going to be at centre half, which obviously it does look like that. Do you know what? At home, I'd probably throw in Curtis Jones. I really would. I think he did well against Ajax, as well as he could do. But again, I love the idea of a Shaq playing in that position again. I really do, especially at home and the way he can do it. So for me, you flip a coin between Shaq and Jones, and I'd be happy. But based on the performance that Shaq did, you might as well just look at Shaq. He was really good, and as our mate Greg has just said, he always scores against Man United. So why can't he do it against West Ham?
True, and like we said, let's talk a bit about West Ham. Obviously, we'll do probably another preview close to the time when we've got more of an idea of who's playing and who's not, because we're kind of obviously it's Wednesday, so it's a long time between Saturday and who knows what's going to happen. We don't even know what the full extent of Fabinho's injury yet. We don't know if Matt's going to be fit because he's made of fucking plywood or milk or whatever he's made of. I don't know what he's made of. But
milk. Matic's made of milk. Oh my god.
Podcast title, there you go, then. It's not usually me that comes up with them, but this time I have. Matic's made of milk.
Matic's made of milk. Oh my god, brilliant.
What are your thoughts on West Ham, Matt? What are your thoughts on how they're doing? I mean, they've done okay so far this season, haven't they?
Yeah, they've done really well when their manager's not there, which is very weird. They're just, I'm not going to say sleeping giant because I wouldn't describe them as a giant, but they definitely have been. Definitely last season underperformed, and the start of this season did underperform until the last few weeks where they've sort of kicked into gear. We definitely can't let Lanzini shoot from distance. We saw that last week. But yeah, they're very good going forward. They can be compact, but we should have enough to dispatch them quite confidently, quite easily. It's just about making sure that we don't give. I'm not sure if he's playing much though, which surprised me. Felipe Anderson, if he gets a lot of joy down our right flank, that's trouble. So it's mainly about keeping him quiet, keeping their creative players quiet, and then it should be simple enough.
They've only lost one of the last 6. You know what I mean? You look at that from a form perspective. They've played Tottenham, they've played City. They've drawn with both, and we all know Matt just said the comeback that they had against Spurs was brilliant, and they had a good performance against City. The only team they've been beat by is Everton, and Everton have obviously been flying, apart from when they play Southampton. But yeah, it's but again, they came to Anfield last season, and we only just got over the line with them. They've been at Anfield a few times, and they've always given us a game. So I think it was 17-18 when we actually, dipped them 4-0 or something like that. But they're a tough side. They are a tough side, and given the way we are at the minute with the injuries and stuff like that, it's not going to be as easy as we think.
No, and I think you look at the last 3, which I am just now. They beat Leicester 3-0. It's like they beat Leicester at their own gaff 3-0. So it's like Leicester are a good side, and they've obviously came back from 3-0 down against Spurs 3-3.
Yeah,
they drew 1-1 with Man City at home. But like these results aren't a fluke. That obviously they've got some good players in there, and it's like when we can't take them lightly. I mean, that's why, maybe that is why Hendo will be picked centre half, because we need maybe an experienced head in there rather than a Reece Williams who we don't want to throw in and he makes a bad mistake, and then that's yeah, it crushes his confidence and whatever, especially at such a young age. So yeah, I'd probably agree with maybe Hendo in there, and then the midfield three of maybe if Kate is fit, Genie and a Millie. I mean, you are getting towards the bottom of the midfield pile there in terms of Millie, because he hasn't played as much recently, and I don't. It's hard to say how he played against Midtjylland, but I don't think he was as effective. He was kind of making a few fouls, weren't he, that you expecting to make tackles instead of fouls, and it's like we can't do that against West Ham, because they'll be loving that, because they want free kicks near the box, they want to throw it in. And if Michail Antonio is fit, I don't know if he is. I think that might be touch and go, but throwing balls into the box with him in the box, especially like Bonner and Declan Rice, and these guys are tall, and especially without Van Dijk, we're lacking in that area. So it could be a place where they could expose us. Do you reckon, Jay?
Yeah, it will be, mate. And like you said, it's going to be hard to make, a definitive verdict on the game before we've even seen what Fabinho scans like. We obviously know he's not going to play on Saturday, but you've got to start preparing. If he is going to be out for a number of weeks, you need to make sure that you're getting your team right for Saturday. So a lot more will become clearer before Klopp's presser, and when he does the press conference, we'll obviously know the extent of everything and stuff like that. But before that, guys, I just want to get your thoughts on, obviously, with it being a Reds in Europe show, the Champions League campaign, of where you think it can go for the rest of the group stage. Like we touched on before, we've got 2 games there where we've kept a clean sheet, 2 wins out of 2. You'd have taken that one. How are you feeling about the Champions League campaign?
I don't want to be negative, but I can't help but feel that our chances of winning are severely impacted by no Van Dijk. I think we can go far, but not having Van Dijk, if we come up against the Bayern Munich, who are an absolute machine, because Bayern Munich at the moment we're one of the best teams in the world, and I feel like Bayern Munich, when they're on all cylinders, they are the best team in the world, certainly in the run into winning it last year. Yeah. With Lewandowski in the form he's in, with the just horrendously talented amount of backup that they've got all over the pitch, anyone that comes up against Bayern is going to struggle, especially us without Van Dijk. I don't doubt that we can do it going forward. Yes, we're amazing. Liverpool always pull out the bag when the backs are up against the wall, so it can be done. We got to a final without we are on our way to a final without Van Dijk. Then he joined us, and what happened in Kiev happened. But I'd like to think we can win it, but I'm a bit hesitant without the big Dutchman at the back.
Yeah. No, yeah. I go on, Mike. I was just about to ask you the same question.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, like it's all dependent on firstly, if the Fabinho injury isn't that bad, because if it's not, then we should be. If it's what I've heard is it could be weeks, not months. Hopefully, that is the case. Like if he's out for 2 weeks, absolutely sound. We can get by with that. It's just we need Matip back definitely as soon as possible. We need Matip and we need Gomez back as a duo in there, because then we can. Maybe once Fabinho does come back, he can go back into midfield, and he can play in front of the back four and give a bit of protection for those two. And that's where he is best. That's where we know he's in his element in that position. In terms of going forward, we need, like we touched on, I keep talking about the last part with Dave, but we maybe need someone in January to come in, and it's just trying to find that right player who's going to come in. And he said Klopp's not going to bring someone in just for the sake of it, and it's not going to be like a stopgap type Ragnar Klavan just come in for a year or two and then fuck off back to Italy or whatever. It's going to be.
And they're not going to be cup tied. And they're not going to be cup tied for the Champions League as well. That's important now.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be someone who we're not expecting, who's going to come in and hopefully do a job, because we definitely need just one more body in there. I think it's security in numbers, isn't it? Like we've got Fabinho, so we will all on 10 hooks. If Fabinho gets injured, we're screwed, because if Matip's not then back, we're then having to rely on a 19-year-old kid. I mean, we've got Kopite coming back, but he's still a kid as well. Billy the Kid, like he's still an absolute fucking baby himself. So it's like we can't rely on these people, because it's not fair, really. Like you can, especially with like Trent coming through, you can rely on him because you know he's already class and he needs to be bedded into it. But like the likes of Reece Williams and Kopite, they need to be guided by an experienced player in that position, and like we touched on earlier, having Allison in there is huge because he can guide them from his position, and like having him in behind there, you feel so much more confident that the rest of the team are going to do the right things.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's a Champions League campaign. It's, you know, arguably for a lot of people their favourite competition, and I'm sure we'll just enjoy every minute of it. Just hopefully it was not like last night, because that was just absolute.
Go on then, Jay. Do you want to wrap up? Obviously, should we do score predictions for West Ham, or should we leave that for the next one?
Nah, leave that for the next show, mate. Leave that for the next show. Let's do that for the next show. Matt, go on. You go on.
What am I doing?
Give us your score prediction for Saturday, anyway.
Fuck, I'm bad at this. All right, if Antonio plays 2-1, if he doesn't, 3-0.
Okay, fair enough. See, love that. Matt usually gets it right as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he watches every minute, so he's usually spot on. So
he is.
But
well, Matt, thank you very much for joining us today, mate. And obviously, we appreciate every time you come on as well in support of us. Thank you to everybody that has been watching. Obviously, Greg, big shout out to you, mate. Steve Carson, thanks for the old pink boot shout out as well. We love that. Dave from LFC Chats is in as well. The Cop Council have even joined us tonight as well. And for those that we haven't seen yet, we appreciate you joining us for our very, very first live feed. That has been Matt Ramirez. It's Mick Moran, and I'm Jay Pearson.
You're going to give the answer to the Danish players?
Shit, yeah, the Danish players thing, right? So, yeah, so the last one was Torben Picnic. That was the last one. Torben Picnic. So, yeah, that was the last one. So I'll leave that one with you. All right, and we'll be back again for another Reds in Europe with another teaser from me, and we will see you next time.